once again, Wildcats. Welcome back to another LC Coaches Show. Glad to be joined once again by our men's soccer coach, Claudy St. Louis. I'm Brad Welburn as we chat about last week and the upcoming week, which is crazily enough, it's flown by really, but it's the last two matches of the season coming up this Thursday and Saturday. A lot of stuff going on around campus for those two matches, and we'll talk about that coming up. But I want to spend a little bit of time talking about last week, a couple tough road losses to ETBU and to Laterno, and especially, man, that game against ETBU, I mean, that's got to be a different kind of frustration and heartbreak, as, you know, it's 1-1, a game you certainly felt like you could have easily won, and then a late own goal in the 82nd minute of the game, and they're up 2-1 like that. So, I mean, was that one of the more frustrating losses or games in general for you that you can remember in recent time?
Absolutely. Obviously, it was tough just losing in general, but losing that match, it being such a pivotal match, winning that match, we would have still had hopes of conference, berth, but also just dominating the game. I thought we were the better side, and I thought for the whole second half, the game was played in their half, and it was just one of those things, like it was a fluke, because there was really no one else in the box to put the ball into the net but the one person who did, and so it was just a tough way to lose. And I mean, the guys were heartbroken, after the match. They gave everything they had, so I'm proud of them for fighting. I mean, even after taking that goal, they created many chances, probably a questionable offside call late that denied us a second equalizer, but that's the nature of the game. Some days you don't get the bounce.
Right. And like you said, I mean, that's second or third own goal this year, and it's just been one of those things where it's unlucky bounces have happened this year. And I think we kind of talked about and touched on it last week, but it's a lot of maybe the youth of the team not really maybe being used to this pressure kind of situation, and just a little bit of slip up here or there, and it costs you a match. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, even the first goal, it was a set piece, but it was something simple. A player moved off the post. That's not supposed to move. And the ball literally went right where he should have been. And I mean, it's just one of the, and I mean, it was a freshman there. I mean, I don't, want to put extra blame on the guy, but simple thing, if we're diligent and we're just focusing on what we're supposed to do, we probably would have never been down in the first place. But once again, those are some of those growing pains, things that you have to lose before you kind of understand, I can't do that, because it causes matches.
And I imagine going forward that'll be something in the back of his mind, and anybody else who was on the field is like, okay, I remember what happened this time, so we're gonna change things up.
Precisely.
So with the frustration and the heartbreak of that loss against ETBU, I mean, a quick turnaround because of the weather. You guys moved the game from Saturday to Friday, so you travel from Marshall to Longview, and then play on Friday afternoon, less than 24 hours from that match on Thursday. So with the tough loss, with the quick turnaround, with the young team, I mean, did it kind of snowball into what happened on Friday?
I mean, I think Friday was, once again, just us shooting ourselves in the foot, because even with all of those things you just mentioned, Laterno also played the night before.
Yeah.
They actually were in overtime. So the exhaustion, and we were kind of on even playing fields, I think, in that regard, in terms of condition and our fitness and things of that nature. But the first goal was just a situation where our defender was being too risky with the ball. And had he just put the ball out for a throw-in, I think we go into halftime 0-0, and it's a different game. But he takes a risk, loses, and they end up scoring a goal from that situation. And I've told the guys the entire season, it's different playing down 1-0 than playing 0-0 or playing up 1-0, It changes the way we have to play. It changes the way the other team plays against us. So once you're chasing games, things open up for the other team, because you're pushing so many numbers forward. And I mean, even in that game, we gave a great effort. Felix, in the second half, smacked one off the crossbar after doing a really nice combination with his teammates. We had other chances. It was just one of those situations where the ball just wouldn't hit the net for us in the weekend. I don't think we were outplayed by any, thing, but we just couldn't get the ball in the net for whatever reason.
Sometimes you just kind of snake bit like that. And, it's one of those deals. But moving into this week, like we talked about, last two matches and last two home matches as well, They take on Ozarks on Thursday and then wrap things up on Saturday with UT Tyler. So before we get into and I want to give you an opportunity to talk about your seniors because it is senior day on Saturday. Talk about this Ozarks game. I mean, it is kind of a game where you can start to, it's unfortunately, but we're working towards next year already. Opportunity for 2 matches to kind of see some guys who will be likely back next year, get some work in, and kind of figure out and start planning ahead for 2018, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I told the guys the goal now was to end the season on a 2-game winning streak, and try to carry that us into the spring and into 2018 fall. And obviously, I think Ozarks, although they're, I think, a team that's currently situated in the conference top 6, I think it's a game where, looking at how the results of their games have been, I think it's another match where we'll be able to compete. It's going to come down to, can we not shoot ourselves in the foot yet again, and can we finally put the ball in the net? Putting the ball in the net, even though we only do it once typically, I think that should be enough. So if we just don't shoot ourselves in the foot, I think it's another winnable match for us. And I think our guys are ready. They're going to give everything they got. I've kind of built them up to tell them, hey, send your seniors out, with the best that you've got. Because someday you're going to be a senior and you're going to have some young freshmen in your face, and you're going to want them to give their all for you in your last 1-2 matches as well.
Absolutely. And then talk about real quick the match on Saturday with Tyler. Very good team. He's kind of struggled at times this year, but still, they're UT Tyler. They're used to being able sort of near the top of the conference and winning. So a tough match there to end the season. Yeah,
it will be a tough match. The funny thing is, I've watched a lot of tape on Tyler because most of the games that I scout other teams is from Tyler's website. So I've seen them a lot, and I kind of really know what they'll like to do. And hopefully I can game plan and situate my team and prepare my team to deal with them. But it will be a tough match. They're second in the conference. They're obviously going to want to win to remain there, and they're going to give everything they have. But I once again told the guys, hey, senior night, you want to go out with a win. So hopefully, if I had to choose one of the 2 games to win, obviously that'd be the one. I want my seniors to go out on their senior night with the last hoorah.
Yeah, and talk about them real quick. I mean, you got 4 this year. One of them in particular that's been in the program since the very beginning and put up some really incredible numbers, which we hopefully we'll get to talk about in more detail next week. But you got Todd Riles, you got Charles Furman, you got Nathan Gotro, and Victor Villavieja on the team this year. So talk about what those guys have meant to you as a coach and really to this team. Maybe not only this year, but just in general, the contributions that they've made.
Yeah, especially for the guys like Nathan, like you said, who's been here from the beginning, and Todd, who's been here for 3 years now. I think for my entire tenure, they've stuck through a lot of bad times. Yeah. So I have nothing but the utmost respect for those guys. Nathan has been nothing short of phenomenal for those 3 years. Keeping us in matches where we probably had no business being in, and keeping games where we did lose pretty badly, even from getting worse. So I think that guy deserves all the awards he could ever get. Todd, obviously a captain this year. I think he did a pretty good job leading the young team, trying to show them what it takes to win and how to be. So Charles also came in with us last year. He started, but even he stepped in, and he's been great. He's a great leader as well. Gave us great quality games, quality minutes. Victor Villavieja, he was a surprise, quite honestly. Didn't know what to expect from him coming from, hey, just a basketball player, but he's actually a quite good soccer player. And I appreciate them all of their time, because at any given time they could have just said, look, I'm tired of this. Yeah. The program is kind of in a rut. I want to leave. But those guys have stuck it out. And like I said, I respect those guys so much for the time and the contributions they made to the program. And hopefully in the future years, they'll be cheering for a winning program.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll get to a chance to kind of honor those guys before the match on Saturday. So if you haven't made plans yet, this is the only home event going on this weekend is here at soccer. So make your plans. The women's game will start at 2. The guys will start after that, so roughly around 4:30 or so. You can come and recognize and give these guys the honor and respect that they're due for the time they spent here, and enjoy some soccer on Saturday as well. So Thursday at 7:30 ish for the guys, right after the women's game, and then Saturday at 4:30. So it'll be a fun weekend. Links for live stats will be available on our website, lcwildcats.net. You can follow men's soccer on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and all those places. So be sure to do that on the interwebs and the social media platforms of your choosing. So, Claudy, thanks so much for joining me once again this week. I'm Brad Wilburn. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.